All right, give me 1 second. Let's log on. All right. Okay, please.
2520545.
Okay, Ms. Harris, no mischief, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement. They're offering you 6 days in jail, credit for the 2 days that you have done.
It's a refile.
Okay.
2 days in.
You were giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. So once you accept this agreement, there's no turning around and trying to change it. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Is this what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
How do you plead to the offense, guilty or not guilty?
Yes, sir.
You need to understand that this is now going on your record. You will be facing a minimum of 90 days in jail for any new cases that you pick up. Good luck to you, man.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. What you got? Pretty good. What's that?
I have Mr. Velasquez Martinez. He's right there.
What are we doing?
It's a BVR. This is the one he was in, inpatient during the time that the, test was done. I provided you a letter on Tuesday, I think, Monday, showing that he was there. He was discharged on Wednesday, 3/5, whatever it
Is he on
is.
docket today or no?
He is, yeah. Should be under Velasquez Martinez, or Martinez
Is
Velasquez.
he on the jail docket or on the?
No.
I don't see.
Montanez, it's under Montanez then.
I see it. All right. Come up, Mr. Montanez.
And here's his discharge letter, Judge. And then the list of his medications. He showed, this morning, showed for fentanyl, one of the medications for whatever it is an antipsychotic medication. There sometimes can be a false positive for fentanyl on those, on antipsychotics. Such as
Which one?
Paradone, the Quintin.
I see it.
I don't ask me how to say it, I have no clue. That's an antipsychotic. So I'm wondering if maybe that has something, because as you can see, they changed his dosage. They actually upped it to 2 times a day instead
I
of.
can't imagine that it's going to test positive.
I
Mr. Velasquez or Mr. Montanez, I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, unprescribed controlled medication. I'm telling you now, I will test you like crazy. This is the opportunity that you have to stop using on your own. If you can't do it, I will do it for you. Do you understand? I'm telling you, I'm going to test you like crazy. If you fail to appear at a testing, when they call to test you, I will issue a warrant.
Is
You
there an
understand? Okay, you've got a great lawyer helping you out here. All you have to do is listen to him and he'll take care of you. You go AWOL, likewise, I will revoke your bond. You understand?
Sir.
Okay, all right, so we'll just continue, but is Lisa? Okay, so we need you to stick around so you can sign your bond conditions. We'll let you go. Don't use. 9 times out of 10, it's who you hang out. When you hang out with the wrong people, they're going to bring you down. Do you understand? Okay, all right, Ray. Got you, man.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Luis Alvarado, come up. You, Mr. Luis Alvarado? You speak English?
No.
Okay.
Fine, Judge. Yeah, if I get an interpreter for it, that'd be great. Luis Alvarado?
Yeah.
Okay. English? Español? Yes?
Español.
Okay.
It's okay, come on.
Oh, sorry,
We'll
Judge.
get you.
Sure.
So go slow. Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Alvarado. So you're going to translate word for word, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. You are charged with driving while your license is suspended. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. Shh. Okay.
On February
Aquí en el
5th,
5 de febrero
2025,
2025,
officers ran a vehicle through the
policía pone aquí
TCIC
su
and
placa
saw that there was
dentro del
no
sistema
return to the vehicle's
y
registration,
no tiene la registración del carro
and that insurance needed to be manually
y
verified.
la aseguranza del carro no es del sistema tampoco.
Officers initiated a traffic stop.
La policía pone las luces.
They made contact with the driver, who was the defendant,
Aquí está usted,
who stated he did not have a form of
que no tiene
identification
identificación
and that the vehicle was not insured.
y la carro pues no tenía aseguranza.
The defendant was identified by his name and date of birth,
Dice nombre y su fecha de nacimiento
and they received a return for the defendant's driver's
y
license,
tiene una aquí en el sistema por la licencia
and it showed to be ineligible due to a suspension for a failure to appear.
que dice que porque no fue a la corte una vez que tenía una suspensión de la licencia.
The suspension date was of November 17th, 2015, with no list
17 de
date.
noviembre de 2015
He has 2 prior convictions for having no motor vehicle insurance.
y dos casos
Alvarado.
por convicciones por no aseguranza.
I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case.
Suficiente
I
causa
am ordering you not to drive.
y no puede manejar.
You will be signing an affidavit with me today, promising me you're not going to drive.
Esa que no va a manejar.
I don't care what's going on in your life.
Si,
If I find that you drive,
si el juez encontró
I can have a contempt hearing. You can be facing an additional 6 months in jail
que tiene otro año,
and a $500 fine every time you drive.
si quieres manejar.
Do you understand?
Si le entiende el juez,
If you want to drive,
si quieres manejar,
go get liability insurance,
para si-
get a Texas driver license, and I will happily take this off. But if I find that you drive,
si
you are mine.
aquí
Do you understand? Now, I don't know what your immigration status is.
¿qué por sus tales migratorias?
I want you to listen. I don't know what your immigration status is.
Sorry, Judge.
It's okay.
Sorry, I forgot. It's been a long time since I've interpreted.
Not a problem.
Aquí el juez que dice si no sé qué cuál es su estatus migratorio ahorita.
If you're not in this country with permission
Son estas-
and you go to jail,
si va a la-
and immigration finds you, they will put a detainer on you and you will be stuck in there until this case is over with and shipped off to immigration,
Después va a ir
which is at least 6 to 9 months. Do you understand?
entiende el juez.
Do not drive.
Puede manejar.
We will have you sign a lease with Ramona. Have you come up here, swear to that you're not gonna drive. After that, you'll be free to go.
And then después vamos a salir, okay?
All right?
Thank you, Judge. It's been a while since I've seen a deal be alive.
Yeah, they're filing a lot of them. You get a lot.
Once in a while.
Governor Raymond,
No, Judge.
let me just blow through your names real quick and then I'll help you out. Tell me.
My apologies. For Montanez, he still has his current bond conditions in place. But we did, for the missed drug test, send him for one today. Council was just telling me that he approached on it. I'm not sure if y'all.
Yeah, I'm letting him go now, but I'm
Wait
gonna,
for the lab results.
right, and then I want a lot of testing on him,
Yes, Judge. I can adjust the frequency.
please.
Yes, Judge. So for the BPR, if you could
Just
move it to
working.
continue supervision. Thank you, Judge.
Ramona, is it Carruthers?
Yes, Judge Hexter.
Ronald Carruthers, come up. Mr. Carruthers, you are charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
On March 2nd, 2024, officers were dispatched regarding a major crash in Harris County, Texas. Upon arrival, the officers made contact with the wheel witness. The witness observed the defendant's 2005 gold Chevy strike an unknown person riding a bike with his vehicle.
Whoa,
Bike, yes, Your Honor.
struck a person?
Riding a bike, yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
The defendant then got out of his vehicle and began assaulting the unknown person and then drove away from the scene.
whoa. You're telling me he strikes someone in a car and then on top of it starts assaulting this person?
Yes, Your Honor. The unknown person fled the scene and the defendant was promptly found by officers 1 block away in a private driveway. That was not the defendant's residence. Upon contact with the defendant, the officer observed an odor of an alcoholic beverage, slurred speech, and
Poor balance.
poor balance. The defendant was detained. He refused SFSTs. The DIC was read. The defendant refused to provide a specimen. A blood search warrant was signed and executed. He was identified by his Texas driver's license.
I have just so many problems with this.
So Judge, we have been unable to locate the unknown person that was on the bicycle. He fled because he was getting assaulted. We have no way of finding him.
Not only that, how do I know he's not consuming anything after the fact? How do we know he doesn't go home and chug a fifth of vodka?
The DIMS does say he was promptly found by the officers 1 block away. from
I
the
get it.
scene.
Yeah, I get it. Promptly is a conclusory word.
I'm pulling up the OR right now, Judge, to see if they have anything more specific.
Can I say something now?
Don't, Mr. Carruthers, don't. Are you losing? Are you losing?
No.
Then stop. Anything else? Was that it?
Looking at times, Your Honor, to see if we can establish when he was found based on when he was dispatched. I don't think we have anything additional, Your Honor.
It says, yeah.
Mr. Carruthers, I'm gonna find no probable cause on your case. You know, we have enough death. We have enough dismemberment. We have enough blood all over our streets. Please don't add to it. Please just don't kill someone. That's all I'm asking you to do, man. You know, $40. An Uber will take you anywhere you want to go in this county. Anywhere. Please, don't kill someone. Take a seat, please. All right, who's next, Ramon?
Judge Terrence Citizen on page 3.
Terrence Citizen, come on up.
Beverly Hassan?
You call us, Judge? Beverly Hassan?
No, Citizen.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Citizen, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present if you cannot afford one. One will be appointed to you, sir.
On March 3rd, 2025, officers responded to a possible intoxicated driver at 5696 block of Beachneck Street in Harris County, Texas. Upon arrival, the officer made contact with the defendant on scene, and the officer stated, while he was waiting at a red light, he observed a vehicle run through the Red light, the officer got behind the vehicle and ran the license plate to make sure that it wasn't stolen. The vehicle swerved into the officer's lanes and almost struck the patrol vehicle. The officer then observed the vehicle swerve in and out of its lane and a traffic stop was initiated. The officer made contact with the defendant, who was the driver, and identified him by his Texas ID card. The officer observed an odor of an alcoholic beverage, watery, bloodshot eyes, and slurred speech. The defendant was detained and he refused to answer any questions, including SMSTs. The officer attempted to read the DIC, but the defendant would not let him finish and refused. A blood warrant was signed.
Okay. Mr. Citizen, I'm going to find there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. So you said he had an ID, does he not have a
Yes,
Texas
he does
driver
not have a
license?
driver's license.
Okay, Mr. Citizen, you are not allowed to drive. I am making that a condition of your bond. If I find that you drive, it's really not going to go well for you. Unless you have a Texas driver license and liability insurance, you're not allowed to drive. Can you look to see any prior DWIs, please?
There's no priority WIs, Your Honor.
I am ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol and any kind of illegal drugs, likewise, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. So I'll have you go to Ramona, sign a reset. You will get with Fleischer your bond conditions, and then after that, you'll be free to go. I'm going to have you sign an affidavit promising you're not going to drive unless you have a Texas driver license and liability insurance in your name. You understand?
I got both, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I just ran him right now. He was suspended as of February 12th, 2025 for no liability insurance.
So I'm not
Okay,
gonna get
okay.
into this discussion with you. I'm
I'll
just,
show it next time I come.
she has access to the DPS database for licenses. They're telling me it's not eligible. So until I see differently, then you just can't drive.
I'm
You
saying.
understand? So I'll have you sign this affidavit promising us you're not going to drive. I will have you get to Ramona, sign a reset, and then we'll get you out of here. Okay? Here, all right, come on up. What do you got?
Just real quick, on the amended MOAB situation, I can go to the jail and have him sign.
Just log your hours. You know what I mean?
If, you wanted him to come here in person. you
I don't care.
Okay.
That's fine. Just log your hours so that you get paid for doing the out of county, out of time. Yeah, okay. Hey, hi.
A motion to serve.
I'll sign it. Don't worry about it.
Also, he's entering the PTI program. We are waiting on the supervision order, but I was wondering if it would be possible, for you to admonish him today, then that way he won't to,
Admonish what?
admonish him today. I think,
It's, do you have everything so they can follow the supervision order?
I think so. I sent an email to PTA program to double check, but it looks like everything's in. The only thing that I see is that it looks like the defendant had applied for an ODL, and I'm not sure what the status of that is and whether or not.
Okay, if he doesn't have a license,
I think he told me he does have the license of the occupation.
can you look to see, is it eligible?
And I can call him up and double check.
No. I got enough drama.
Yes,
So,
sir.
I mean, she can tell whether he's got a license or not. If he doesn't have a license, he's gonna have to get the portable device and he's gonna have to sign a no driving affidavit.
I think we might be waiting on the device.
What does he have now?
That's what I'm looking right now.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything at the moment. He said he needs to get the
Okay,
interlock.
yes, it is eligible. So he interlock. I think we
What
might.
does he have now?
He doesn't have anything at the moment. He said he needs to get the
So
interlock.
I'm gonna,
Yeah.
this is 250 days old. I'm gonna set him off a week. If he doesn't have the device on, but next week, by a week from today, I'm gonna carry him day for day.
Yes, sir.
Let him know. So that's top of page 20, Ramona, top of page 22. 1 week to get the interlock must appear. No more wave settings.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
Yes, sir. I do have one more. It is off docket though.
I don't have time for all that stuff.
Yes, sir.
Too much stuff to do and I gotta do arraignments first. You can come back in a little bit and then we'll do it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Butler? Hey, what's going on?
So we have Everly Hassan, judge, on the docket this morning,
Okay, is she
and
here?
she is set for pleas today.
Okay, is she here?
Yes, she is.
Have you written it up?
Yes, it's done. It's ready.
Come up, Miss Hassan.
This is one that I think that you're intimately familiar with.
Miss Hassan, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement. They're offering you 3 days in jail with credit for the 1 day that you've done. You're giving up a lot of rights by entering into this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you accept this agreement, it will go on your record. It will be there for the rest of your life. It's even there after you die. If I were you, next time you get into a car, even if you've had a sip of alcohol, don't drive, because it's gonna cost you big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really. Take an Uber. It's a lot cheaper. How do you plead to the driving while intoxicated? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Is it true or untrue that you had a 0.15 or above?
That's true.
All right, so it's 3 days, 1 day credit, true to the enhancement. I'm gonna suspend your license, ma'am. I have to suspend it. I'm going to suspend it for 180 days, ma'am. Do not drive until you get a license. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thanks. You can run it. Hi, Lori.
Judge, it's on Mr. Cheatham on your jail docket. He was on bond for a criminal mischief and picked up another criminal mischief.
Wonderful. Okay. Oh, and the felony retaliation.
The felony retaliation was out of the same transaction.
Okay. Whatever you want, really.
Okay, thank you,
Do
Judge.
you want to set it for the day after the felony, I guess?
I said it already. Did you need to revoke a bond? Okay,
Oh, they didn't give him a PR bond.
okay.
So we're
All right,
good.
thank you,
Mr.
Judge.
D,
Got a couple pleas, Judge.
I'm ready when you are.
Mr. Porter and Mr. Charles, step forward, please.
Citizen?
Excuse me.
Just come right in the sentence. Sorry.
Yes, sir. No, sir. Judge.
Is this Mr.
This is Mr. Maurice Charleston. This is Mr. Order.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen, both of you are,
No, sir.
shh. Gentlemen, both of you are charged with criminal cases. You've worked out an agreement to end these cases here. You both need to understand that there are serious consequences with what you're doing today. Mr. Maurice, you are charged with evading arrest or detention. This is an enhanceable offense, meaning that if you ever run from the cops again, you will be looking at a felony charge, years instead of days. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
The kind of agreement you worked out, this will end up as a conviction on your record. You're pleading to 3 days in jail, credit for the 1 day that you've done. Both of you give up many rights by entering into this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you gentlemen are not citizens of the United States, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. So once you plead guilty, you are stuck with this. With you, sir, it will go on your record, the evading arrest. Mr. Orta, you are charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. The agreement that you've worked out is a 6-month deferred. This is a type of probation that if you complete it successfully, you do not end up with a conviction on your record. But you can't tell people it was dismissed. It doesn't get dismissed. You merely do the probation. If you complete it successfully, no conviction. Big difference. You understand?
Yes, sir.
For you to complete it successfully, you must do a gun safety class. No drugs, no alcohol, random urinalysis, 10 hours of community service, and forfeiture of the weapon. Is this how you understand it?
Yes, sir.
How do you plead to the offense, Mr. Maurice? Guilty or not guilty? I'm gonna find you guilty. I will sentence you to 3 days in jail, give you credit for the 1 day that you've done. If it's enhanced, it'll be abandoned. Good luck to you, sir. Mr. Orta, how do you plead to the unlawful carrying of a weapon? I'm not gonna find you guilty. I will withhold that. for 6 months. There we go. I'll make you a deal. If you do well, if you test negative, and if you're nice to everybody, if you get your classes done quick, I'll take you off in half the time. So you could literally be done with this thing in 3 months if you really kick butt, work hard, do well, and most of all, just be nice to everybody. You can do that, you'll be out quick. Can you get it done?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck to you, man. Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Chief Clerk.
Maurice?
Jose Estrada, come on up. You're Jose Estrada.
Yes, sir.
Sir, you were charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On March 3rd, 2025, officer observed the defendant making multiple lane changes without using a signal and observed him traveling at a high rate of speed. The officer had to travel 80 miles per hour in a 60 to 70 miles per hour zone to catch up with the defendant. A traffic stop was initiated. The officer was advised that the officer observed the defendant inside the front driver's seat of the vehicle with the engine running. The defendant stated that he came home from a party at his friend's house. The officer observed the defendant to have bloodshot eyes and an odor of alcohol emanating from his person, as well as slurred speech. SMSTs were conducted. It was a 6 out of 6 on the HGN, a 2 out of 8 on the walk and turn, and a 1 out of 4 on the one leg stand. The DIC was read and the defendant refused to give a sample, so a blood warrant was signed and executed.
All right, Mr. Estrada, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. Any prior DWIs, and does he have a license?
No prior DWIs. He does have a license.
Okay, Mr. Estrada, I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or any illegal drugs, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer? Or would you like?
I have to, yeah.
You need a lawyer. You're facing 6 months in jail, right? So do you have the ability, or would you like to apply for a court-appointed lawyer?
I could apply for a court appointment.
I can have you fill out an application. I'll look to see whether you qualify, and then we'll go from there. I'll have you fill out, or I'll have you sign a receipt with Ramona. We'll have you get with Fleischer for your bond conditions, then Deputy Miranda will give you an application. You want to talk to me real quick?
Yeah, it's quick. It's a motion to sub. It's off docket though.
I'll sign it. Just have him put it in the key.
Yeah, it's in there. All right, thanks, Judge.
Got it. Okay,
You will leave.
okay.
Mr. Lee? Okay.
How you doing, Your Honor?
Miss Lee. Miss Lee, you were charged with theft. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have
I'd
an,
like to take notes.
sure.
You said theft, 1 year in jail,
You're facing up to a year in jail
up to 1 year,
and or a $4,000 fine.
and or a $4,000 fine. Proceed.
We're going to do probable cause.
I don't even remember what that meant. Haven't been to court since 2006.
We're gonna see whether there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case or not.
Okay.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney appointed to you if you cannot afford one. You ready?
What do you call that attorney that's,
Court appointed lawyer.
pro bono?
Yes.
Proceed.
Judge, do you mind giving me a cause number? It's not appearing on my docket.
I have,
Hey, please,
oh,
a certain process we follow. I don't want you to engage with them.
I was just,
It's okay. 255, 4005.
So 255-4005?
Correct. And go kind of slow because she's taking notes.
Yes. On March 2nd, 2025, at approximately 2:30, officers were dispatched to a theft at Memorial City Mall at Macy's. Upon arrival, the officer spoke with the complainant, who stated he noticed the defendant conceal a tester of perfumes in her bra. A different associate also noticed and asked the defendant to put the perfume back. The defendant did give the perfume back to the associate. Once the associate walked away, the complainant observed the defendant pick up the same perfume and conceal it in her bra, and then later put it in her purse.
I didn't even, in this,
The defendant walked past all points of sale without paying for the merchandise. The complainant stated that 4 tester perfumes were seen being concealed on CCTV footage, and 4, Your Honor. And another 4 were located on the defendant once she was apprehended by a supervisor and the complainant. The total value was $1,321. The defendant admitted to the officer that she did steal the perfume and that she tried to exit the store before she was apprehended.
Okay, what store are we talking about?
This is a Macy's at Memorial City Mall.
Okay. Ms. Lee, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. I am ordering you as a condition of your bond not to go back to any Macy's and not to go back to Memorial City Mall.
have already informed me that,
If I find that you go back to the mall, if I find that you go to any Macy's, I will revoke your bond. I will put you in jail. Please do not pick up any new cases. Likewise, if I find that you pick up a new case, it's not going to go well. Would you like to apply for a court-appointed lawyer, ma'am?
I would, sir.
Okay. So Deputy Miranda is going to give you an application for a lawyer. I need you to fill it out for me. I will have you go to Ramona, sign a reset, and then we'll just have you take a seat wherever you'd like, and then just please fill it out, and when you're done, you can bring it back to us.
Officer Fleischer, I know you did mention that anything I said will be held against me. May I please say something?
Please don't. Let me give you a lawyer first. You tell the lawyer, and if it's
Okay.
appropriate, then they
Okay.
can tell me,
That's-
okay?
Okay.
But I really don't want you, but you can tell the lawyer.
I'm sick. I got a liver disease and I can't go to jail.
No one's going to jail today.
No, I mean, I wouldn't live there. I'm not gonna make it. I have too many health issues, but
Don't worry, man.
thank you so much, Your Honor.
We're here to help.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
It's gonna be a reset?
Well, I'll have you talk to the lawyer, but most likely it'll be reset. Ramona, you can go ahead and just
Yes, I'm sorry.
go ahead and call. Wait.
Judge, would you like us to follow those 5 conditions?
Please.
Take off? Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, so no Macy's whatsoever, any Macy's, and then any Macy's,
Yes, Your Honor.
and just Memorial City Hall.
Yeah, Judge, next.
No, James, real quick, tell me.
Oh, there's just wanted to see if, I have someone getting drug tested right now, Chris Garcia. Is it okay if I come in on Zoom for the results? Because I'm not sure when he's gonna be
Go,
ready.
go, go.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
And I have your cell phone, right?
Yes, Judge.
Yeah, I'll reach out to you, don't worry.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, everyone, who's next?
Michael Lopez, taking that judge.
Okay. Michael Lopez. Mr. Lopez, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can, you speak English?
Judge.
Okay, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir. Oh,
On March 2nd, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, officers were dispatched to a family disturbance. Officers met with the complainant, who stated that the defendant is her husband. The complainant stated that they had arrived from a cruise where the defendant was drinking heavily and had stopped at a friend's house for more alcohol. The complainant stated that they then got into a verbal argument where when the complainant entered the door, the defendant slapped her with an open palm, causing pain. The complainant stated that the defendant tried to grab the sliding barn door off of its hinges and hit the complainant with it. The complainant kicked the defendant to stop him from throwing it at her. The officer met with the defendant, who admitted to pushing the complainant. The officer also met with a witness, the complainant's son, who stated that he found the complainant hiding behind an AC unit, who was also stated that the defendant threatened her with a gun and assaulted her.
Mr. Lopez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm ordering you now as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. If I find that you're consuming anything, I will put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I'm also ordering you not to be in possession of weapons, and I'm entering in, or it looks like a magistrate's order from her emergency protection has already been entered. I would get to know it. If you do something to violate this court order, the state can and probably will file additional charges of violation of protective order, and then things will go sideways extremely quick. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I am ordering you not to have any contact with this person whatsoever.
Yes, sir.
I don't care what you need. I don't care which, don't have any contact.
Yes, sir.
You have the ability to hire a lawyer.
I hired a lawyer. I think he called up. He had a court in Austin.
Okay. So you have a lawyer?
Yes, sir. He had court in Austin. I think he called up here. Rudy Vasquez.
So let's do this. I'm gonna have you meet with Ramona here momentarily. We'll have you sign a reset. I'll have you meet with Fleischer for your bond conditions, then we'll get you a date.
Yes, sir.
All right, take a seat for me real quick. What happened?
Right here.
You killed it?
Right here.
Okay, all right.
Morning, Judge.
Good job, Mr. Bose.
He was actually my professor.
What?
Mr. Wells,
Yeah, she's amazing.
Amazing. Yeah, she
I
is.
know.
So I'm approaching on Timothy Smart.
Okay,
Yes.
And?
We have the T-Raz. They recommended Sativ.
done. Yes.
How,
I guess we gotta do a plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
And he says no, then we'll set up a
I
trial.
talked to him.
That's fine, Your Honor.
He doesn't want to do it.
No, we're gonna do it. He
Oh.
wants to do it. I talked to him. He knows.
Have you talked to the family about it
I
yet?
did. I've been in contact with his dad. I just talked to dad this morning too.
Awesome.
I think he might be watching.
I'm down.
Sounds good.
Good. And that's
Okay.
something that he.
For how many months, Judge? I think Sativ minimum, I think is 6 months.
It's gonna depend on his progress because of the drugs season is probably closer to now.
Okay.
And the only other problem is that there's aftercare, right? So the aftercare is a part of it, right? And
Right.
if he doesn't participate in the aftercare, let him know. We're gonna issue a warrant and we're gonna
Yes.
keep doing this over and
Until
over
I get it.
and over until it takes.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Good.
Judge.
Yeah.
Okay. And Judge Fleischer, I spoke with his dad and his dad really wanted me to tell you that, thank you for preparing.
Well, it's
Yeah.
the right time to
He
do it.
said you're amazing and you're great. He speaks all good things.
Thanks.
Thank you.
How many more do we have, Ramona?
Yes, sir.
About four, and then we have,
THAs? Okay, so just start giving THAs, applications, we'll help them fill out.
Huh?
THAs, if you want to give them applications.
Did you read my case?
If they want.
I have this.
Okay, let me do this. And then we'll do-
I found the wrong episode. But she's recording the notes, she never said she was right.
Good morning, Mr. Woods.
Justice of the vehicles.
Mr. Woods, you're charged with 2 counts of theft. You're facing. Thanks. So you're facing
Matthews?
2 counts of theft. You're pleading to those both. You need to understand that both of those are going to go on your record. They will be there for the rest of your life. What happens, you get popped on another theft?
Probably a felony or something, right? Oh, I go to jail for sure.
No.
Prison? Right, okay, yeah.
Now looking at a felony charge after today, you pick up anything, you can go, a case of beer.
Like milk, anything, yeah.
You're facing a lot of time in prison. Do you
Okay.
understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers? If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. Once you accept these charges, they will go on your record. They'll be there forever. Mr. Woods, if you need anything, if you're living on the street, and if you want anything, come back here and we can help you out. I can give you a cell phone. I can give you a tablet, food, a place to sleep. All you got to do is come back and ask and we can give you whatever you want. But don't just go out there and start taking because
Right. Well,
it's a lot more than 15 days. So you can understand.
yes, sir.
I did plead to the both of the cases, guilty or not guilty. I want to find you guilty. I'll follow it. Good luck to you, sir. Thank you. No? Hi.
Well, I have 2 clients I need to post for. The first one is Gallegos. So he did do his drug test, but it's today. He did come positive
For
for THC, but I wanted to see if we can allow the actual results coming back from the labs. Because my client was quite surprised about.
okay, so we'll put it off 3 days, 4 days.
5 days.
Yeah, it takes about 5 to 7 days depending
Okay,
on how.
we'll set it off a week. It's okay.
And then my other client, Your Honor, is Mr. Yando.
What's the last name?
Yando,
What's up?
Fernandez. Yando.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm going to address the bond that's set at 10,000 right now.
Page 32, Judge.
Yeah, thanks.
Judge, do you want to know?
Yeah, yeah, because I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Fernandez.
And hold on, oh, and let me just do this real quick, this arraignment. While they're bringing mine, I'm gonna do an arraignment. Javon Phillips, come up.
He denied that.
She's saying she was driving because she said you're having to all these ones.
Good morning, Mr. Phillips. Sir, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
On March 4th, excuse me. On March 4th, 2025, on March 2nd, 2025, at around 5:58 p.m., officers were dispatched to 3414 Rebecca Street in Harris County, Texas. Upon arrival, the officer met with the complainant and the defendant outside of their residence. The officer observed the complainant have slight redness on her cheek and a tear coming from her right eye. The officer observed no visible injuries on the defendant. The complainant stated that they were in a dating relationship, and she has been for approximately 3 years. The complainant stated that during an argument that began earlier in the day at a Family Dollar, and that the argument carried over into the car. The complainant stated that during the argument, the complainant stated, "You are not going to hit me." And then the defendant slapped her with an open palm, and she felt pain. Yes, Your Honor.
I see that there was a felony assault that was there an OPC on something?
Yes, it looks like it's an OPC.
Do you have the rip done? Do we know if she wants to have contact with him or not?
I speak freely, Judge.
No, please don't. I've got a bunch of DAs here. Whatever you say, they'll use it against you. But if you want a lawyer, I can give you a lawyer, Mr. Phillips, and whatever you say, whatever you want to say it to the lawyer, and then they can help you out.
Looks like we haven't made contact with her yet. The felony case is the same case as the misdemeanor. It looks like we're having issue finding the previous conviction.
Got it. All right, Mr. Phillips. I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm ordering you not to have any contact with this person. And I'm also ordering you not to be in possession of any weapons. A protective order has been issued in this case. I would get to know it. If you violate the protective order, the state can and probably will file a violation of protective order against you. Did you want to apply for an appointed lawyer?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay.
So is this a felony or a misdemeanor, sir?
Misdemeanor. Facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. So let's do this. I'll give you a lawyer today. Talk to the lawyer. Any issues, they can come back to me and talk, and then we can hash out anything. For now, I'm going to have you go to Ramona, sign a reset, and then I'll have you talk to the lawyer here momentarily. So can you file no contact and no weapons?
Sure.
And then, you know, I'd like to know,
Oh,
are there any priors? And are the priors against the same complaining witness?
Right, okay.
If there are, later we run an NCIC. All right. Are you Mr. Fernandez?
Yes, sir.
Morning, Mr. Fernandez.
Morning.
Sir, you're charged with terroristic threat of a family or a household member. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. The reason you're out now is your bond is set at $10,000, which is unusually high for a misdemeanor. I don't know why, but she's asking for a bond reduction. I'd like to know what happened in the case and we'll go from there. Okay.
On March 5th, 2025, an officer was dispatched to a family disturbance type call at a residence in Harris County, Texas. Upon arrival, the officer made contact with the defendant. And the complainant, the defendant's mother, was trying to make him leave the house because she felt like her life was in danger due to his behaviors and threats he made to kill her with a gun. The complainant provided text message from the defendant's therapist. The defendant also told his brothers about the threats. The defendant showed his 14-year-old brother pictures of guns and stated all of his friends have guns. The brother felt in danger. The defendant admitted he made multiple threats in the past of killing his mother with a gun.
so
Did I hear a specific threat?
Not directly to the mother, but he had threatened to kill the mom to other people in the
But
family.
that's not, but a terroristic threat has to be aimed to a specific person,
Yes.
and there has to be immediacy.
And my response to that would be that it was aimed towards the mother, threats to kill with guns while showing pictures of guns that his friends have access to shows immediacy. And to show intent to put her in fear would be a question for the jury of whether he intended to make her feel fear, whether or not it was directly to her or to others. So
Where the threat is.
I mean, So he told his brothers that he was going to kill his mother.
And
That is what the complainant stated. I don't have a time. Wait. As per mother, the last time the defendant had made those threats was 2 days ago. So on March 3rd.
That's not even.
no, this has to be, it's something where, I'm going to kill you, MF, now. It's not, hey, man, I'm going to do this in a couple days, when I get up to it, because I'm kind of lazy. I got shit I need to do. It don't work like that.
I understand. I'm just concerned, so.
Gotta be careful. You got but one life. How was jail? Sucks, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not asking for much. All the knuckleheads that have guns that run in the street, they're gonna end up in here one day. That's all. I tell you, don't start asking anybody when you get back to the tank, Really, life is too short to live in a box like this. You don't need a gun. How old are you?
Just turned 18 on March 5th.
You don't need a gun. Get your ass back into school, man. Knowledge is power. You want to make some money? Learn something. She's amazing. Look at her. How much money you make? Don't answer that. She makes a crap load of money because she knows things.
Yeah.
That's what life's about. Fancy vacation, nice cars, these big ass beaches, blue water. That's what life's about. But you get it in school by gaining knowledge, not with a gun, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna find no problem, boss. Do something, man.
Sure.
Get back into school, learn something.
He's in school, so he needs to finish school.
Yeah.
Hey,
He's gonna
you're gonna get out today. Be somebody.
Yes, sir.
Be not a statistic. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What was the person again? That was Fernandez.
Okay. No.
Yeah, no PC. Hopefully that was enough to get us finished.
Right.
Mackenzie,
Yes, sir.
here's the other thing. How do we even know that he said that to the brother? How do you know the brother's not making it up?
Understood. I agree with you. And then there's mention about text from a therapist, and it doesn't say anything about what those text messages said. I had to try my best on it though, Judge, so I understand.
Special bond conditions for misleading.
Got it. I'll send it.
Good morning, Judge. I got appointed this morning to Mr. Butler, first name Philander.
I have him, Abigail. I have him.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Okay?
And Your Honor, he has a pending felony case. However, I did see that he made bond on that one, and this is the only thing that's keeping him in custody right now.
What would you like?
Your Honor, and realistically, I talked to him to see if there's any means for his family or friends to go ahead and pay this bond, which I ultimately would be around 100. He didn't provide any information on that. He's actually not sure how he made bond on his felony case.
He got a PR bond on it. So it looks like he picked up a UUMV, February 24th. And now he's picked up a misdemeanor theft. I guess they haven't gone back or looked. I don't know what they're gonna do. He's set for 331 on that case. I don't know if they're gonna yank the bond on that or not. I don't know. But he wants me to give him a PR bond.
Yes, Your Honor. I do have contact information. I have an address for him as well.
Hey, Deputy Miranda, do you mind bringing up Mr. Butler? Yeah. Ready? Good morning, Mr. Butler. How's jail?
Not good.
Great. That makes me happy because the harder time you have, hopefully the more we have them for a reason. Here's the rub. Your lawyer is asking for me to give you a PR bond in this case.
That's it.
You were on bond for an unauthorized use of a motor vehicle,
That's it.
and now you've picked up a theft case. I have no idea what happened on theft case. We're gonna figure out what happened real quick, and then we'll talk about your bond.
That's it.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You're facing a Class B theft, so it's up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine.
On March 7th, 2025, an officer was dispatched to a theft call at a Target in Harris County, Texas. The defendant was observed on surveillance video placing merchandise in a black suitcase he also obtained from the business and crossed all points of sale without attempting to pay. The defendant was detained without incident. The total value of items stolen was $355.46.
So you said he also has a lot of out of,
No, that was Mr. Phillips.
oh, Mr. Phillips has that account.
Yes.
Ms. Keela Lee?
How old is Mr. Butler?
He's 25 years old, Your Honor.
Ms. Keela Lee?
Ms. Lee?
And Judge, I was looking, I did not see any sort of history of him not showing up to court or any sort of bond forfeitures on his previous cases.
The problem is you keep picking stuff up. Stop. I don't want you to say, but my problem are two things. Number one, sometimes people are their own worst enemies and they continue to pick cases up that they're just, it can't stop. I don't know. But you, Mr. Butler, you're 25 and you have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now you're on your 13th and 14th case. And a lot of these are very serious felony cases. Unauthorized use, robbery, unauthorized use, felony fraud, evading in a motor vehicle, felony theft. Now another unlawful. Why? Why would we continue to give you PR bonds when you've, since January, you're on your 4th case? Why? The thing that you need to consider, Mr. Butler, is it would only cost literally $100 to get you out of jail right now. And there's no one there to pony it up for. These are the things that you need to consider when you're out there in the free world, because you were in the free world just now and you picked up a theft case, but you need to start thinking, well, even if I pick up a case where it's $100 to get out, I have no one that's going to get me out. Why? Why would we continue to, tell me.
And Your Honor, I mean, as the state mentioned, he hasn't forfeited any of his cases before, although he does have other cases. There's a few that you mentioned that were dismissed ultimately. And he has already provided me contact information. Keep in contact with me so that he's not a flight risk. He is originally from Houston, so he would show up to court.
But I don't want you to pick up any more cases. Right. In the short 2.5 months in this year, you're working your 4th case. I can't give you a PR bond, man. I don't want you to pick up a fifth. Bill comes due, Mr. Butler. And now we'll see. I'm sorry. He's working for his 4th case within the last 2.5 months. It's not going to happen. I don't want you to pick up a 5th case. I'm sorry, man. I don't know if you're going to get out now, but if you do, you're not allowed to go to any Target stores anywhere. Do you understand? Okay. All right. I'm sorry, Mr. Butler. I can't just keep
Thank you, Your Honor.
Right.
I have a plea.
You have a plea? What's the last name?
It's
Oh, it's not ready yet. It's a jail one, right? They're not ready yet.
I'll go up to court for you.
Yeah, no rush. Mr. Paz,
Yes, Your Honor.
is he out?
Yes, Your Honor, he is.
Okay. Or do you need a translator?
I do, Your Honor, and your coordinator has requested one.
Yeah, okay.
And Judge, did you want me to file the bond conditions for Mr. Butler? The Target, no going to Target?
Don't worry about it. I'll have to do it.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yeah, what was the last name of your gentleman?
It was Garcia, Chris Garcia.
I don't have my JLO here yet, James. As soon as she gets back, I'll let you know.
Okay, yes, Judge.
Felicia's out.
Okay,
Well, tell me, you got something?
Yeah.
James, did you want to say something?
all I wanted to say, Judge, is that he told me that he, came back clean.
Okay, let me confirm that and then we'll let you go.
Yes, Judge.
Hey. Yeah.
So I was appointed to a fugitive warrant. I did turn in the extradition waiver. This is for Demarcus Thomas.
Yeah.
And during the process, Your Honor, I told my client I would ask, his wife is here too. They're telling me a bunch of items were seized, iPad, some money, phones, which is very odd to me. So I asked the state, they're looking into what agency took it.
You know who, does it say?
Because I mean, he came outside is my understanding and was arrested. I don't know why they went in the house. And I know I'm just on the fugitive warrant, so I'm just trying to guide
Did they
him and
have
his
some
wife.
kind of search warrant?
I don't know, Judge. This
Just
is
in a-
actually my first time it's coming to my
Yeah.
attention too, so I'm asking Dave
Okay,
to figure it out.
I don't know, no. I don't know why they would seize all that stuff unless they thought it was like.
Well, there might be another investigation, but,
And then they only have what, it's 61 days?
to serve them with the asset forfeiture.
Right.
Yeah. Okay,
I don't know, I don't have.
yeah, I just said I'd bring it up. I'm kind of told to maybe get a civil rights attorney for that aspect of it. And then see if they can get, or maybe an asset forfeiture at some point, but I don't know if you need to bring him out for.
No.
Okay. And then I had one other one, John Booth, he's on your docket today. They did file he was returned to his jurisdiction, so
Okay, so I'll sign the figure here whenever they file.
that's
it.
all I have, Judge.
Got it.
Cool, thanks.
Thank you.
All right.
Tony, ready? Okay, Ms. Potts, ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Solash, come up.
Buenos días, señor. Se para aquí, por favor. Yo soy su intérprete.
Okay.
Conteste a voz alta, por favor.
Okay. You're, Mr. Solash. Sir, you were
Yes.
charged with terroristic threat.
Amenazas terrorísticas.
You were facing up to 6 months in jail
6 meses en la
and or a $2,000 fine.
de $2,000.
You're going to do probable
Vamos a leer
cause.
causa.
You have the right
Usted
to
tiene el
remain
derecho a
silent.
mantener silencio.
Anything you say can or will be used against you.
Podría ser.
You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed
Uno
to
se le
you.
nombrará. Ok.
On February 9th,
El 9 de febrero de
2025,
2025,
an officer
un
was
oficial fue
dispatched
despachado
to a
a una
residence
residencia
in regards to a
en cuanto
disturbance with
a
the
un
weapon.
disturbo con un arma de fuego.
The officer met
El
with the
oficial se
complainant,
reunió
who
con
stated that
el
he has
denunciante,
ongoing
que declaró que tiene
issues
problemas
with his neighbor
con
over
su
parking.
vecino sobre estacionamiento.
The complainant stated that
El
today, while
denunciante
in his
dijo que hoy,
driveway,
mientras estaban en la marquesina,
his nephew told him to get
su
down
sobrino le dijo que se
after he
que bajara
observed the
después que observó
defendant
el acusado
point a rifle in
apuntando
the
un
direction
rifle
of the complainant.
hacia la dirección del denunciante.
The complainant
El
stated
denunciante
he feared
dijo
for his
que
life
temía por su
and
vida
ran to call the
y corrió a
police.
llamar a la policía.
The complainant's wife
La
filmed
esposa
the
del denunciante
defendant pointing
dijo
a
que el acusado
rifle at the complainant.
apuntando un rifle hacia
Officer observed the video
Los
footage
oficiales
in
observaron
which the
la
defendant
cinta donde
is
el
wearing a white
acusado
tank top
tenía
and black
una
shorts
camisa blanca
while
y
holding what
con
appears to
pantalones
be a
cortos,
black rifle.
entonces tiene en sus manos algo que se
The
parece ser
officer
un rifle.
observed the
El oficial
defendant facing
observó
it in the
el acusado
direction of
mirando
the
hacia la
complainant's
dirección,
residence
la
and
residencia del
positioning himself
denunciante
to aim the
y
rifle.
posicionarse de manera de
The
apuntar
defendant
el rifle.
then
El
disposes
acusado
of the rifle
entonces
in a
se deshizo
nearby
del
shed
rifle
once
en
he
una
realizes
silla
he is being
cerca,
filmed.
ya cuando se da cuenta que lo están
The
grabando.
officer
El
next made
oficiales
contact with the
entonces
defendant
hicieron
and
contacto
observed
la
the
segunda vez,
defendant wearing the same clothes
observaron al
as
acusado
in the
la
video
misma ropa que
and
estaba
standing
en la
next to the
cinta
same shed.
y corriendo hacia la misma caseta.
The defendant was then detained.
El acusado entonces fue detenido.
The defendant
el
stated
acusado
he did not have
declaró
any
que él no
weapons
tenía ningún arma de fuego,
and then stated
ningún arma.
that the
Entonces,
rifle was
dijo que el
hidden
rifle
inside the
estaba
shed.
ocultado dentro de la caseta.
The officer found the
Los oficiales
rifle
encontraron el
and
rifle y
determined it was an
determinaron
airsoft
que
rifle
era un rifle
similar
airsoft
style to
similar
a real assault rifle
a un
and
verdadero
can
rifle de
cause serious
y
bodily
podría
injury
causar
or death.
lesiones físicas muy serias o hasta muerte.
So Solash, I'm going to
Solash.
find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with
Para
the
seguir
case.
adelante con su caso.
I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with the complaining witness and not to be in possession of any
No
weapons.
tengo posesión de ningún arma.
Has he since moved? Because I'm going to order
Me preguntaron si se ha
200 feet
mudado
as well, that he not go near the complaining witness.
cerca de
No, Your
200
Honor, he
pies.
still lives in the same
Vive
residence.
todavía en la misma
And the
residencia.
complaining witness actually lives across the street.
Él, de hecho,
And it's a
vive
two, I
cruzar la
actually know,
calle.
it's a two-lane, I looked it up.
Y hay de
It's a
dos
two-lane street,
sentidos, una calle
with
de
opposite
dos
direction
sentidos
traffic.
con el tráfico que va.
I think it's
Pues uno al
probably
otro.
outside of that
Yo creo
200-foot
que está
boundary,
fuera, más allá
but
de
it's
esa,
across the street.
I'm
de
ordering
200 pies. Le ordeno que
200
usted no,
feet of where
menos
this
de
person
200
lives
es donde vive,
or where this person works.
donde trabaja
I
esa
do not
persona.
want them living in
Yo no
fear.
quiero que vivan en temor.
You understand?
¿Entiende?
Okay.
Okay.
If I find that you violate these conditions,
¿Sí o
if I
no?
find that you put my public in danger, I will revoke your bond and I'm going to put you in
Lo
jail.
voy a poner en la
I
cárcel.
don't know what your immigration status is, but if you're not in this country with permission
Este país con
and you go to jail,
yo a la cárcel,
immigration finds
encuentra.
you because they sweep it every day.
Ellos van todos
They will put an immigration detainer on
en
you
inmigración.
and you will be stuck in there until this case is over with and then shipped off to immigration. If you were able to get out of immigration on an immigration bond,
Una
you
fianza de
best
aplicación.
behave. Because anything goes wrong,
Cualquier cosa.
you will also lose that immigration bond and all that money you've paid
Todo ese dinero que has
will be
pagado
someone else's.
será de otra persona.
Do you understand?
¿Entiende? Yes, yes.
You have a lawyer.
Tiene un abogado.
Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your
Abogado.
appearance. But it is your responsibility to stay in touch with Mr. Paz, and he will tell you if and when you have to
Le
come
puedo
back to
decir
court.
cuándo tú tienes que venir a la corte.
Thank you.
If he tells me he cannot get a hold of
Que no
you
se puede-
because you were playing games and you're not responding to his phone calls or text messages, likewise, I will
Llamadas,
revoke your bond.
también revoco su fianza.
You
¿Lo
understand?
entiende?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay.
Está
Do you
bien.
mind filing those conditions?
Absolutely.
For now, we will
Por
have you
ahora.
sign a reset with Ramona.
Otra
After that, you will take a seat in the jury box while we get your bond conditions. We will have you sign it,
fianza, usted le
and
va a
after that, you'll be free to go.
Entonces, después de eso, está libre para irse.
Chris,
Okay.
thanks.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you for working with us and letting me have time to get out from immigration. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Thanks.
There's already some in the queue, the ones you deleted.
Got it. Okay. Oh, that's right. Leave that in there. Okay, are you ready, Mr.
Yes, Your Honor.
Come on.
Approaching on Christopher Torres.
Okay.
We had carried this from last week because I was in trial.
Sure.
Anyway, so we originally were going to approach you without an agreed rec, but we've come to an agreement with the DA on jail time.
Okay.
My question is, my client's on bond. I didn't know how the court handled it. Can we set it for a plea, or does he plead today and turn himself in?
Correct. That's what we did.
So plea today? Okay. And could you give him a couple weeks or something?
Sure.
Okay.
But he's still on bond, so he can't do anything that he would normally do. Like, he's still on bond, so every bond condition continues as is. He's still on bond.
And then does he turn himself in here to the jail?
No, to the jail.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get paperwork done. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh my God, the clock's wrong. That's what I did. Okay.
They're ready, Mr. Paz. They're ready. If you want to bring them up, you
Yeah.
can sign now.
I was like, Gene, I got plenty of time.
Do we have any more arraignments? I thought we had. Come on up, Mr. Rogers.
Yes, sir, Your Honor, ready like the time.
Thank you for coming. Right there.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Great state of Texas.
Hey, I'm living.
I need to stay. You ready?
Sorry.
You are Glenn Rogers.
So,
Mr. Rogers, you're charged with interference with the duties of a public servant. You are facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you. We're gonna basically find out what happened to see if there's enough to go on, okay? Just hang tight with it, please.
On March 2nd, 2025, an officer and a canine were dispatched to a disturbance call for service of a male inside a McDonald's in Harris County, Texas. Dispatch advised the male walked into the store side of the business and was also causing a disturbance. The officer arrived and advised Precinct 6 the officer arrived and was advised of descriptors of the defendant. The officer asked a clerk if the male suspect was still past the doors of the McDonald's. The clerk advised the defendant was in the parking lot. The officer observed the defendant in the parking lot, and he hit a car passing him with the driver of the motor vehicle yelling at the defendant. The officer approached the defendant and told him what he was doing in the parking lot. He was messing with motor vehicles and people. Defendant stated he was not doing anything and walked away from the officers. The officer ordered the defendant to stop and not go anywhere. The defendant was walking different directions and advised the officer to get away or he was going to fight the officer. The officer grabbed the defendant by the arm and told him that he wasn't going anywhere. The officer attempted to detain the defendant and he started pulling away while the officer maintained a grip. The officer grabbed both arms of the defendant where he kept attempting to pull away. The officer was able to get the defendant to the sidewalk area, then against the building where the defendant was pinned against the wall. The defendant, with his right hand, grabbed the officer's stomach and started squeezing his belly area, then grabbed his duty belt and was tugging at it.
He said, grab his belly and started squeezing.
that's a route, y'all. That's a route. I'm not gonna make it.
Stop. Please don't. I've got a bunch of DAs here. Whatever you say, they're gonna start using it against you. It's just, that's the first for me where I've heard someone grabs his belly. Like what my kids do to me.
Sorry, y'all. That it didn't happen.
That it?
That's it, Judge.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Rogers, I'm gonna find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. Can I give you a lawyer today?
That's why I need one, please.
Okay. Just hang tight for me. What I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna have you sign a release with Ramona. Let me just have you take a quick seat and then I'll find you a lawyer, okay? Please. So, no going back to the dogs.
Okay.
That particular one, and then no contact with the officer.
Okay.
Did you know if they trespassed him there anyways? Sorry.
No, it was not clear from the DIMS whether he was issued a formal trespass.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Your Honor, can I approach real quick?
Sure.
Here, I have a case law for you. This is the case that I've been noticing. Case law is
Oh, right.
The rule of corpus delicti, you can't prove.
I remember the corpus delicti rule, right.
So I'm just gonna give it to you before we approach.
This is for you, for your, okay.
And I believe Mr. Pons sent us both an email, but something from him.
He's like, find that case. I was like, oh.
Let me take a picture of it.
Yeah, it's 1957. No, that's the state's case.
You need me? No.
I do need you, Judge. Yes, I do. Okay. I'm actually here on Mr. Cormier. It's an off-docket matter. I have it on tomorrow. We were able to work out an agreement upstairs with the state that would take care and have this case down here dismissed. I know. Sorry, Judge.
Easy money.
Right. Exactly. And so then.
You just need you want to reset?
Well, I do, I want to reset, but also he has a TRAD, amend his conditions to have an ankle monitors removed as we're giving him rashes. The felony judge has agreed to remove them up there, so I just have to get the bond conditions back.
Has there been any issues?
There have been no issues.
How long's it been on bond?
It's been September.
Okay.
So 6 months. Okay, thank you, Judge.
Oh, well, my I don't know where she is.
Today or?
She was here earlier.
She's floating around because, right, I think 7 doesn't have one, right? So
7?
she's floating between here and 7.
What's her name? Okay, may I go over there and let her know?
Please.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, Judge,
Hi, guys.
Judge, approaching on Mr. Carruthers, Mr. Hakeem Carruthers. Any chance we can bring him out for a bond here? Carruthers, Hakeem Carruthers, CAR.
What happened?
Nah, it's just,
You okay?
yeah, thank you.
Looks like,
It's not convincing.
I know, I mean,
I get over it.
with us here on this
No, it's
case?
just, no, it's not a big deal.
Okay, all right. I don't want to press. Hey, how are you, man? How about that thing with the?
It went well. I did so well, they invited me next. Yeah. It was good. They asked a lot of questions. They asked a lot of interesting questions, even.
That's good.
It was good.
He was talking to a high school.
He was talking what?
It was a high school, right?
It was.
Yeah.
I did a high school presentation about knowing your rights, so I focused on some
Oh,
personal.
by the way, did you talk to Greg about that? He has that,
I emailed you about it.
Thomas?
yeah, it was, it's
I
a,
told him. Yeah. Sometimes they don't put it on the face of it and I have to do a little digging, so I did a little digging. I sent it to him.
did they have a search warrant or something? They
This is
just,
the warrant, so they got him on this warrant, but yeah.
but they just started taking other things as well?
Oh, I mean, inventory, because they can't take them to the jail, Judge. I don't know what was taken, but I mean.
A
yeah.
computer,
Oh, I can't.
I'm sorry, or was it an iPad?
You said I had some money.
iPad and money.
I'm sure it's in a bag somewhere, but I mean, obviously for a motion to restore, I won't, oppose unless there's something in the computer that's objectionable.
So this is Mr. Carruthers, right?
Yes, Judge, this is Mr. Hakeem Carruthers.
Good morning, sir. So we brought you out today, well, because we're talking about you, and it's only fair that you get to hear what we're talking about. Your lawyer, I'm assuming you're asking for a bond.
Yes, Judge, we're asking for a bond.
I don't know. I have to get to know you in about, 2 to 5 minutes, who you are, right?
Yes, sir.
Who you are, it's not what you tell me, because everybody tells me something. Paper really tells me who you are, your past, your present, your potential future, because that's how I get to know you. So I don't even know what you're wanted for. Okay?
Your Honor, he's wanted out of Shelby County in Tennessee for assault, bodily harm, resisting official detention, and vandalism, 10,000 to 60,000. They all arose out of the same transaction where he had a disagreement at a Dollar General store, and he flipped the cash register, and among his damage, he ended up injuring the cashier's hand. And then obviously when officers arrived, it wasn't peaceful. It was indicted on.
Did you say it wasn't peaceful?
It was not peaceful.
Okay.
Hence the resisting. It was indicted on January 17th. In his history, it's going to show a second warrant, but it's only because it was previously charged on September 28th, 2023, and then it was indicted in 2025. That's why it shows 2, if that's how it shows up. But it's only one offense.
Can't imagine it's even worth it. Really?
So the work.
It's a rhetorical question. You don't have to answer, but I'm saying, Dollar General, man. Life's too short. Any priors?
No priors. It's only an extradition because the vandalism is a felony. The other 2 are misdemeanors. State's not opposed to a bond.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Dude, really? All this because of Dollar General store? Really? Hope you got it. Get it. Life's too short. How long's you been in?
Since last Wednesday.
Wow.
Right.
It's a long time. Okay.
6, yeah.
So tell me.
The biggest thing, Judge, it sounds like this wasn't indicted until January 17th, 2025. We're at March 10th. Yeah, sorry. And so there's no failure to appear. I'm assuming there's not like he's been
I'm
running.
okay with giving you a bond.
500?
Well, I don't know about that.
I was gonna say 5,000. For what it's worth, Shelby County did want us to request no bond, but I stated that the court would likely give a bond because of no priors and because it's not an aggravated offense. But for what it's worth, is they were still intending on picking them up, but.
What do you think as far as a bond?
5,000, just because of the nature of all that combined and to cause $10,000 to $16,000 in damage with just obviously.
How much in damage?
10 to 16,000. I don't know what it is in center because the sheriff's office there wasn't able to look too far into it, and obviously I haven't called the district attorney's office there, but that's the range because of felony.
Have you see what he can make?
I've spoken to him. He's gonna be counting on his family to help him out. That being the case, would you consider 2,000? That's, I think that's sufficient enough to where he's, I mean, he hasn't had an opportunity to mess
Thinking
up.
lower.
Lower, perfect, go lower.
You know, you get but one life, Mr. Curran. You know, you either live it good, you live it bad, or you spend all that time in a box. It's just not worth it over something so silly. It's just not worth it. I'll set your bond at $1,000.
Yes,
I
sir.
want you to understand, we don't play games, right? We give you 2 weeks from the date of your release to go turn yourself in to, you said Shelby County?
Yes,
Tennessee. If you don't do it, there will be drastic consequences. It takes forever for Tennessee to get up here. So if you don't make it up there, you don't turn yourself in, I'm gonna revoke this bond. I will set it at 0. I will not give you another one. Do you understand? And then this time I will issue a nationwide warrant. I'm gonna get you eventually. You can't run forever. And then this time I will hold you here until Tennessee comes and gets you. You get one shot, do the right thing. You understand? Okay, bud.
The only thing is, Judge, I don't think he signed the waiver or a refusal, so.
No, I showed the refusal. I sent
Signed?
I sent it to you.
Oh, I haven't seen that. The one I saw wasn't signed by anybody. Okay, so he would have to sign a different document
No,
first?
no, the refusal stays. He just signs the reset to.
Yeah,
And that's it.
because he's a refusal, he doesn't have to sign anything.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, it stays and he just signs the reset.
Knowing that he's got the 14. Okay.
Yes.
Sounds good, Judge.
Okay.
Four times I had to turn myself in and then go see what they talking about. Because I was down there for a whole 2 years and I went to Lakeside. I was admitted
What
there.
happens is when you go turn yourself in here, or over there, when you go turn yourself in, this fugitive case gets dismissed. You don't have to worry about this anymore. Then you just gotta go fight that down there, right? But you gotta go turn, is there a bond set there now?
30,000.
So.
Once he self-surrenders.
Once you go there, at that point, you'll be able to post a bond to get out, and that bond over there is set at 30,000. Okay, and then you can get out and fight the charges on the outside, but you gotta go there first, and we have to know that you turned yourself in. Okay? All right, good luck, man.
Thank you, Judge.
Look. Thanks.
Good. Did you want to read our cases and then we come back tomorrow?
Give me a second, let me just go get my keys.
Okay.
Andy?
Yeah.
So you said, Mr. Pons, you emailed me?
Yes. David, it's from Westlaw.
Judge, I can print it for you if you would like. That's better for you.
Read me the PC again,
I can, yes, Your Honor.
because I don't remember it.
On March 2nd, 2025, officers were dispatched to an accident call at the 4500 block of Southwest Freeway. The defendant was passed out in the passenger seat of a tow truck. The officer noticed that her eyes were low, that her speech was slurred, and that her breath smelled like alcohol. The defendant urinated on herself. The defendant stated that she had one drink and that she was coming from a club. The defendant showed to be lethargic behavior. The defendant confirmed that she was the driver and that nobody else was with her. SFSTs were conducted. It was a 6 out of 6 on the HGN, a 6 out of 8 on the walk and turn, and a 1 out of 3 on the, a 3 out of 4 on the one leg stand.
You're driving. All we have is her admission that she's driving.
Well, yes and no, Your Honor. We do not have anybody that put her driving. Anybody that sees her in the driver's seat. I spoke with the officer on Friday after we left court. He stated that once he was dispatched, the defendant was no longer in the driver's seat of the vehicle, but the vehicle is on the scene, clearly having front end damage. The officer speaks to the tow truck driver who was there and stated that and learned that that tow truck driver did not see her driving, but another tow truck driver was there on the scene earlier, and that when there's a lot of tow truck drivers. when the tow truck driver arrived, the other tow truck driver and the defendant were standing outside of the vehicle speaking. So we never.
No one even saw her in the car.
No, Your Honor. However, this is on a major freeway. I could pull up Google Maps if that's good for you.
No, I believe it. I get
There
it.
are 3 lanes to the left of traffic. There are 3 lanes to the right of traffic. There is
How
no
could you
way.
do it otherwise? I get
A
it.
way for her to leave without honestly being run over. And that's the case law that I've shown you, that she admits to driving and that
The problem I also
along
have
with the
is,
conjunction of that, there's no other way for her to get there or to leave. And that is enough to,
was there any
show up.
alcohol in there? Any?
In the vehicle? No, we don't have any open containers.
Did you provide me case law that says that an admission is sufficient?
It's an admission along with corroborating evidence that shows that there is there's no other person that could have been driving. And
There's one thing, she also denies driving, correct?
Yes, no. So on Friday, when I spoke with the officer told me that she did not outright admit to driving, and that is correct. And through my notes that I emailed him, I put the defendant denied driving. That's not exactly correct. What the officer did say is asked, where are you coming from and where are you going? And she answered those questions. So based on that information, we can say that she was admitted to driving.
Yeah, I can't say that. That's assuming. You can say, oh, I went there, I went here. I didn't drive here this morning. I took the bus this morning.
She also admits that she was in an accident. She stated that she hit because they're at the same time they're investigating FSGI.
That's new information. I mean.
It's in the body cam, Your Honor.
Okay. So I wasn't privy to that last week. Again, so now we're on her statement only. So I'll wait until they're done. I'm gonna
sorry.
wait, yeah.
No, just that she said that she was in an accident because they're investigating FSGI, and the defendant stated that she hit some sort of. The officer is asking, did you hit another vehicle? And she says, no, I hit some sort of barrier.
Okay.
And then the FSGI, they're unable to charge that case because they can't identify who the driver is.
So the complaint, there's a separate white car that's been in an accident off of the freeway. They're trying to connect this defendant to the FSGI. That driver of that other vehicle, the complainant, isn't able to say who hit her. So we did not accept those charges.
Do you have a case that says that an admission?
Yeah, that's the case. Reed, I sent that by email. It's like a 1957 case. The state, they gave you Dansby.
Case from like,
Huh?
it's a case from 1852?
No, my case, 1957. Yeah. That's why I was like, everybody knows this. Corpus delicti. That's in the state's case. The state cites to Fisher, which is the same proposition that.
Which is the conclusory case?
I'm not sure if that, no,
Another one that
you're
they're
thinking
saying-
Ford. No.
Oh, yeah, Ford.
Yeah, in Fisher, they talk about the corpus delicti rule, which is the defendant's admission.
Traditionally, I agree with you, right? Like, the statement in and of itself is insufficient.
Right. So
When you have other evidence there, like what she's saying, corroborating evidence, you know.
No, I would dispute that. They're saying that her being on the highway alone, it'd be the other way around. If she was in a parking lot alone, the case they presented to you, it's a lighted parking lot. It's more likely that.
She's in the middle of a freeway.
Right, so it's more likely you're not gonna find someone that's left the scene as opposed to if you're in a parking lot with lights and street lights, you're probably gonna find that person walking down the street.
Your Honor, we'd argue that if they're in a freeway, there is nowhere for another person to go. The person would not exist.
How could there possibly be someone else? I mean, if you're.
There's all kind of places you can sneak into. There's sewer, jail.
But this is why.
You can walk into the store. Yeah, I'm just telling you, I don't know why we're assuming everything they say is like grace. In the case they presented to you, there was a restaurant where the defendant was found. Today, they've said that my client admitted to owning the vehicle. I'm not aware of that. That wasn't presented to me last week.
It's in the dip zone, Your Honor. And the officer did run the car and it did come back registered to the defendant.
So again, that would be from her statement, unless there's some hearsay that they are now saying that corroborates that. In the case they presented, there's a bar nearby that where the person that is the defendant claims they were at drinking. The way it was presented last week is, I went here, I went here, I went here. It wasn't, I drove there. There was no admission to driving. You still wouldn't have a witness to say that she was operating. Did you get my email? Because I want to make sure.
I'm reading 3 now.
That's the original one, yeah.
What's the
whole,
is it still good?
Yeah, there's nothing.
Have you seen 3?
Sorry, Your Honor?
That's the one I sent.
Did you send it to
Yes,
them?
I have seen them all, yes, Your Honor.
And it's an oldie but goodie. That's exactly the same situation. And then.
No, it's like right on point. It's like, here we have, except for the fact that like in 3, he's at a hospital, makes an admission. We're here, she's still on the scene.
And you see that would be our.
She's in a record car.
Okay, I'm meaning, but she's still
They're right next.
close to the car.
And that would be our argument, is that distinguishing 3 from the case that I presented to you is that in 3, the defendant's not on the scene. Somebody else could have driven. As opposed to the case where I showed you, which showed defense counsel and you as well, Your Honor. It is a Whataburger parking lot, I believe they're in, maybe a
Right.
McDonald's. It's a fast food restaurant. The defendant is found inside the restaurant and the car is outside of the restaurant. But the court found that based on the totality of circumstances, looking at the surroundings, that the defendant's admissions combined with the fact that it was his vehicle, that he was right there, that it was enough to prove operation.
Yeah, and that's the distinction that I think, is important, because all of that is near itself as far as premises and the defendant. Everything here is not near the scene. It's not all one little package. I don't know where she
Why
went.
not? What do you mean? Why not? The only difference here is that she's sitting in a record truck, but we have.
No, they said that she went to all these places that I don't know where they are, or if she went, and so in this case, they have evidence that she was
So
going.
the officer, hey, where are you coming from? Where are you going? And she says, hey, I was,
Coming from a club.
dancing.
Right, whatever. In San Antonio, I don't know. I don't know where that club is. That's what I'm saying. And here, they know where the water.
Is it relevant? Where? I don't care where. My only concern is she driving. I don't care where she goes.
Exactly. And that's where, again, she's not saying she drove there. She's saying that she was there. So
She's saying that she was going home, Your Honor.
someone was driving her home.
What's the exact statement that she says?
Don't have it was on the body cam, but I have from the offense report, if I can pull that up.
Why don't we put it off till tomorrow so you can take a look at what she's looking at? That way you can make an informed argument, Are you okay with that?
No, I'm good anytime. I'd like to postpone always. So I'll come back tomorrow.
I asked the suspect where she was coming from. She stated Good Moods, a club in Houston, Texas. And that she was going home.
So I go home, someone asks me, where are you coming from? I'm coming from the courthouse. Okay, they don't know that I took the bus there, back home. You know what I'm saying?
But she's alone. Her car is in a ditch.
I don't know, again. I got you, or I see.
Take a look. We can finish it up tomorrow. I'll take a look. If you have any more cases, just.
But I do agree with you that case is on point, and then I do want to point out that from last week to today, and I'm assuming tomorrow, the facts are gonna keep getting different,
Take a look at everything. Release everything so that
I
you
have,
can.
yes, Your Honor.
Absolutely every single piece that's out there.
I got you.
See? Yeah. Okay, Mr. Pond, thanks. And if you have any new cases, please send it to me so they can take a look.
We have.
James.
Yes.
No, sorry.
Yes, Judge?
Oh, that other James, okay.
Yeah. She's still in court 7. So why don't you just go and then,
Can we give him a reset or do you want him to sit
You know
tight?
what?
in the
No, no, no,
courtroom?
no, no, no. Let me do this. Let me send her an email right now.
Yes, Judge.
Let me send her an email and then I'll attach it to it, okay?
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Sure. Are you guys ready?
Yes, Judge, I have one question for Timothy Smart. I know that you recommend the 2 years deferred education. Does he have the opportunity or the option to satisfy early or complete it early?
There's
the
all,
2 years.
I mean, coming up, we'll talk.
Okay. He hasn't signed yet, but I just wanted to
hasn't
ask
signed.
that question before he signs. If that's an option, if after the program is complete, maybe in a year, to reassess.
I routinely, when people get on a deferred, I routinely take people off early when they do well as a reward. But
I did give my son, I wanted to re-up and was on probation. So I'm gonna do good this.
I hope so. That's all we're asking you to do is stay clean. That's all we're asking you to do. As long as you stay clean, I mean, we're all doing backflips.
Saw my sons and I want to say.
I showed him a picture of his sons.
Yeah. I mean, how do you think, would they be proud now? No. That's what you need to think of. Every time you want to go use, what would your kids think? What would they say? Would they be proud of you? What do you think they say? Where's dad now? He's in jail. Think that makes them happy?
I've been paying everybody standing.
The thing though, that's important, Mr. Smart, is that not only do you have to complete the program, but there's aftercare. After you're done, you will go to it's a sober living facility, kind of like a halfway house, where you go, where you're gonna live with a group of people who are in the same situation, where you have to learn to live again without using any of that, without hanging out with the wrong people. So not only do you have the treatment program, but you have aftercare afterwards. So it's going to be a while. It's going to be at least a year.
It's in Atascocita.
So the facility is in Atascocita, and then the halfway, where, I don't even know where it is.
It'll just depend on a lot of different circumstances. So where it'll be interesting.
It's here.
I will let your family know. They will know where you're at. Okay.
Yeah, your family's in touch. They stay with us, in contact with us. They call us and. Okay, let's have you sign and then we'll have you guys get. This is the best thing for you, Mr. Smart, 100%. All right. So gentlemen, both of you guys have worked out agreements in your criminal cases. You've worked out an agreement where, Mr. Jones, your case, you're charged with criminal trespass. Both of you are charged with criminal trespass. Yours, Mr. Jones, it's elevated to a Class A misdemeanor because it's a trespass of a habitation, shelter, super fund, or infrastructure. So you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. But you have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 39 days in jail with credit for the 3 days that you've done. As a result of this plea bargain, they're going to dismiss 3 other cases. Is this how you understand it? All right. Mr. Smart, you have worked out an agreement where you are entering into a 2-year deferred adjudication. This is a type of probation that if you complete it successfully, you will not end up with a conviction on your record. You need to understand you give up nearly every right known to man by entering into this agreement. If you violate this agreement, then we will issue a warrant for your arrest, put you in jail, and you're looking at up to 180 days in jail. But I'm telling you now, we will continue to do this treatment program until it takes. If you take off on me, if you don't complete it, if you don't do the aftercare, I will issue a warrant. I'm going to put you back in jail and we will start the program new and fresh every single time until it takes. Do you understand? The only thing I'm asking you to do is stay clean. That's all I want. That's literally all I want. Don't kill yourself slowly. Don't kill yourself at all. Do you understand? You must do substance abuse treatment as indicated by the TRAS that you have done. You will do what's called SAT. This is an inpatient facility that you're going to go to. The program lasts around 9 months, give or take. It depends on how well you respond to treatment. If you do well, if you do what they ask, then it goes shorter. If you fight with them, it's going to take longer. It could be a year and a half. Do you understand? So both of you give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Now yours will reflect as a conviction on your record. From now on, you're facing a minimum of 90 days in jail. Do you understand? Mr. Smart, if you complete this, you do not end up with a conviction on your record. You understand? How do both of you plead to the offenses, guilty or not guilty? I'm not going to find you guilty. I'm going to withhold that for 2 years. You're entering into this probation, and I'm telling you, all I want you to do is be clean. Can you get it done? Yes. I really, really hope so. We're going to keep doing it until it takes, one way or the other. Did you have anything that you wanted to add?
That's it,
No?
Judge. Thank
Okay.
you.
Anything?
I'm gonna wait to see you.
I'd like to go through Mr. Smart.
Okay.
So maybe like 4 months in,
Okay.
let's go pay him a visit. I'm going to go visit you to make sure that you're doing well.
Yes, sir.
You're not going to treatment. If you're going to treatment, I'd visit you. You're not going to treatment. And I don't even know where you're going to go. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you, Judge. Yes.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Judge Fleischer, he wants to thank you.
All right.
Just make us proud.
Yes.
Make your sons proud. This is smart.
May I approve the plea, Your Honor?
Yeah. Come on. Okay, thank you. Good morning, Mr. Torres. Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated, second offense. You're facing up to a year in jail and a $4,000 fine. You have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 50 days in jail with credit for the 2 days that you've done. You need to understand that this charge is going to go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. It's even there after you die. This is important because if you ever get pulled over again and you smell like alcohol, you smell like dope, what's going to happen? Up to 10 years. Cops don't care if you're falling down stupid ass drunk. You don't have to be like that. Just the faintest smell of alcohol, you get pulled over, an officer's gonna run your license, they're gonna say DWI, DWI. Well, he's probably DWI again. Put him in. 2 to 10 in the penitentiary next time. If I were you, even if you've had a sip of alcohol, I wouldn't get into a car. It is a huge risk. Not to mention how much money you paid for all this. You know what I mean? $40. Uber will take you anywhere you want to go. Don't matter where you want to go. $40. Use it. You have the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, it will go on your record. You can never take off. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I didn't plead to the offense, guilty or not guilty.
Yes.
I'm going to find you guilty. I have to suspend your license. I will suspend it for a year. Do not drive until you get a license. Now, When did he want to report for the jail time?
The 24th, Your Honor, 2 weeks from today.
Okay, you must report by 6 p.m. on that day. If you fail to report, I will issue a warrant for arrest. And then you're looking at up to a year in jail. Do you understand? So to report by 3/24 at 6 p.m.
And Your Honor, I don't know if I don't want to interrupt you, but just regarding court costs, if you would consider running them concurrently. I was retained, but Mr. Torres is I believe he's indigent. He's on SSI. He's on disability. And he also uses Medicare for his insurance. So he's not working because he has a.
You know, in life, we are allowed to make mistakes, right? But when you continue to make mistakes where you endanger other people's lives, everything gets just so much worse. You know, I routinely, when I have a DWI first, I routinely run court costs because there's also a surcharge on your license of $3,000, perhaps $4,500 if you have a high breath test. It's a $6,000 surcharge on the DWI second. Why would I continue to reward you? What do you do for a living, sir?
I'm a stay-at-home.
You don't work? What's the nature of your disability?
From the car accident.
It's a broken.
Because of your car accident in this case?
No, previous one.
Previous.
He had one in 2011, Your Honor.
And now we're here on DWI second? Was it due to another DWI?
Yes, Your Honor.
When do we learn? When do we learn? What, is it gonna take a death? Lose a foot? What happened in the accident?
I had to be life-flighted.
Holy crap. Are you lucky to be alive?
Sir.
And here we are yet on a DWI, a new DWI. I'm suspending your license for 2 years. I don't want you anywhere near a car. Don't drive. You scare me when you get into a car. You're lucky to be alive. Much less, what about the rest of our, what? You know, my family's on the road all the time. I had a good friend a year ago die from a DWI. What? The reason that we have all these surcharges are because sometimes jail is not enough to get your attention. So now the legislature has made it to where somehow we got to get these people's attention. So let's just start hitting them where it really hurts, and that's in the pocketbook. This is a $6,000 surcharge, not to mention court costs, $6,500 that you'd be rolling out of here with. What do you think? They want me to roll the court costs? I will make you a deal. I want to see something proactive because I'm not sentencing him yet. And I can continue to sentence until the 24th of this month. Show me some proactivity so that we know it's not going to happen again. And I'm happy to roll the court costs. But I want to see something proactive from you so we know that you've learned something. Don't write me a letter. I get enough letters. I don't need a letter. I want something really proactive on your part that shows me that it's not going to happen again. We're not going to see that you've learned something from this. And if you can be proactive, show me something, then I'll waive your $6,500 in fines and fees. And this is important because if you don't pay it, every $100 you owe, you will sit 1 day in jail. So you can imagine how long you will sit on a $6,500 surcharge. You have 2 weeks to really knock my Aunt Connie's socks off. Do you understand? Okay?
Okay,
All right,
Now
got 2 weeks. Yep.
Janus?
Yep. Here.
Judge, Mr. Garcia, is he free to be recent?
Yeah. I just emailed, yes, regular reset. Hi, Mike.
This is an off docket matter, Your Honor. I have Miss Darcy Davis. She's on court Wednesday. She's busy at work. She's wanting, can we reset for the following Wednesday next week, Your Honor?
How old is the case?
It's a little older. 251 40.
51? It has legs.
It's a JNS.
2511?
251 4095.
What are we doing on that day?
I think she's gonna want to head towards trial.
She wants to go to trial?
Yeah.
So why don't we just set it now?
Okay.
You know, I mean, if you know that that's what's gonna happen and that's what you guys wanna do, then no sense in delaying the inevitable.
Okay, all right.
Discovery's complete, right?
Discovery is complete, Your Honor.
Yeah, this case it's
Yes, Judge.
10 months old.
All right.
Yeah, let's,
Trial date.
so our trial dates. How is April 15th?
There's no holiday near there, John? No? Is there a holiday near there, that date? What day's Good Friday?
Michael Lopez?
Hey, Ramona, do we work on Good Friday?
Yes.
Okay, so no,
I
there's
mean,
no
no,
holiday.
we don't. No, that's a short week.
So no trials on the
No
15th?
trials then.
Okay, so the next week then.
Okay, all right.
So it'll be April 25th,
24th, Sean?
25th.
Okay.
We pick on a Tuesday. So let her know she's got to be here. Hold on a second. No. I'm sorry. April 22nd.
All right, thanks, John.
Sorry, okay? All right, so mark it, huh? Did you get the cost on that?
Yes, Judge, I have it.
Go ahead, sir. The next one is going to be for drug testing information, which is going to say. Previously, you said push out application. No one's going to.
Hi, Mr. D,
Yeah, we're protesting.
please.
Judge, we want to be transparent with you about this case.
Uh-oh.
This Gerard Jones is the young man that picked up the murder case. We don't know how long you want to carry it or if you want to carry
Is
it.
it on docket today?
Yes, sir.
We know that case is gonna take years. Right?
Murder case, yes, sir.
And then we have the two assault and mischief.
I had asked the state, would they be amenable to dismiss it and then use it for punishment in the event that he gets convicted?
Yeah, I'm still, I mean,
Spoken to the
I'm still waiting to hear back from felon.
big brother?
Yes. I made the offer, but I understand Mr. Dixon's point is not want to take anything. I totally understand that. I totally understand that. But I can talk to felon and, just would ask for quickness. And I don't think the defense going to
I mean, really, don't stress. Life's too short. So you want a week? A week?
Yeah, we could be fine. Thank you, Your Honor,
So
today.
set it a week, see what you're okay, and then if not, then we'll set it.
Yes, sir.
And I'll email Mr. Dixon as well.
Thank you. So you have to sit down and pull. Can you use your phone and pull on me, sir? You have to go outside. That's pretty awesome.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Who are we gonna go visit? We were gonna visit someone this month, weren't we not? Can you check off on them and see if they're still good?
You was Staple last time. I can do a real follow-up.
Who was it again?
Jonathan Bonilla. No, I think something.
Yeah, please.
Oh, wait, that's for Jonathan. I have a spin. 03 12 41 41.
Is he still there? Let's go see him. Or I'll go. You don't have to go.
What day would you like to go?
Next week?
So your president holiday?
Whatever's, I guess, find out from them what the protocol is and how. And then I'd like to go. And then we'll do the same thing with Mr. Smart, maybe like 4 months in, if he's there and doing well, then we'll provision for alcohol.
There was another one, Jonathan. He was the one that went back. I don't think he's been there that long. You can probably see him both at once.
Right, and if I'm gonna do it, I wanna see them both. I don't wanna, yeah, okay.
Call number for him?
No,
Okay, I'll set it up.
thanks.
Judge, for Phillips on docket, I don't think I was in here at the time. I see that the state's motion bond conditions are filed for no contact. He's not here anymore, I don't believe, but I need to do a transfer order on my end to discharge because previously he was instructed of a no threatening or harassing contract and to make that no longer active. Regarding the signature, but
You can wait it.
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I feel like I
already told him, no
explained that
contact.
terribly.
What's your last name? Oh, no. Are you, have a case with us? Okay, are you here just hanging out? Yeah, let me finish docket and then we can talk. We have people still coming in and out, that's fine. Oh, this is Mr. Lentz?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lentz?
Good morning, sir.
Hmm?
They already did your fingerprint?
So, give me a second, I don't have the paperwork here.
Got you. And that'll be the close up for when he comes back.
You wanna talk to me?
Yes, we are, Madame McIntosh, he was, law enforcement. Right now, he's in jail on 2 theft cases. And I was wondering, would you be amenable to giving him a bond on these cases?
Is there not a bond set?
I think it's 5,000 a piece, Judge.
I think it's 5,000.
So, yeah, the old one is 5,002.
1,000 on the other.
You want me to talk to him?
I talked to him, Judge. He wanted me to, I wanted to see if you, Judge, would be amenable to giving him a PR bond. Take that as a no, Judge.
I don't know. Look, I never want to say no.
Yes,
I gotta talk to him, but he picks up a theft case, takes off, and the only reason we got him now is because he picked up a new theft case.
That's correct, Judge.
If we give him a beyond again, a new bond, are we gonna get a third theft case? You know, I don't know. Let me talk to him and then we'll see.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes,
Okay.
one person.
All right, so Mr. Lentz, you have opened 3 total cases you've got, no, right?
Correct, Your Honor. Terroristic and trespass cases. What are the trespass cases?
No, you gotta reset. Since
The trespass, 268 is being.
Okay, so this one, right, 6 for 12, that was being dismissed. And the terroristic threat. So where are both of these trespasses from? Do you know?
It's his father's house, Your Honor, where he used to reside.
Okay. Both trespasses are from there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Don't go back.
Yes, sir.
You know what's gonna happen if you go back, right?
I do know. Yes, sir.
At least call first.
That's, yes,
You
sir.
know,
Yes, sir.
because a phone call can go a long way to see if they want to maybe invite you over. That's a big difference than just popping in, because you pop in, it's probably just not gonna go well, right?
Very well.
Right. We're not asking much. So you have a total of 3 open cases. You've got 2 criminal trespasses. You've got a terroristic threat. The agreement that you've worked out is they're going to dismiss one of the trespasses. You're pleading on the terroristic threat and then on the trespass. On the terroristic threat, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You're facing up to 6 months and or a $2,000 on the criminal trespass. It's 48 days in jail with credit for the 16 on the terroristic threat. And then 6 days with 12 days credit on the trespass. So it looks like you're walking out. But like I said, the other thing you need to consider is this, is you're pleading guilty to a terroristic threat. If you continue with the same course of conduct within a certain period of time, it's very possible they hit you with a felony charge. So I would be very careful what you do, who you talk to, especially on this terroristic threat, because it could land you years instead of days. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So you're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeals. Once you plead guilty, they will go on your record. You can never take it off. And from now on, you're facing a minimum of 90 days in jail for any new cases that you pick up. You understand?
Yes, sir.
You still want to do this?
Yes, sir.
How do you, hold on a second. Is there an affirmative finding on the terroristic threat?
I didn't see one.
You know?
There's nothing on the
No, I don't believe there should be, Your Honor.
That's important, if there is.
My understanding was based off of
Yeah, but it's whether it's who's the person. Is it a family member?
There wasn't one on there. It was just
Conversation between, it was a.
Don't.
Or I don't see it.
They didn't file it. Okay, that's important because you lose the right to have a gun and you face a third-degree felony when those are alleged. So that's why it's important. All right. How do you plead to both of those cases? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, Your Honor.
I'm going to find you guilty. I will send you the agreement. Good luck to you, Mr. Wentz.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. You are the.
Mr. D,
Yes, sir.
you ready?
Yes, sir, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. McIntosh.
Good morning, sir.
How's jail? How's jail?
Not too pleasing, not too pleasant.
It's supposed to be like that. Right.
Yes.
Here's the problem. Your lawyer wants me to give you a PR bond. But you picked up a theft case. You're supposed to come to court. You didn't come to court. You took off on us. We issued you a warrant. We issued a warrant. The only reason we have you now is because you picked up another theft case. So why? Why would we continue to do the same thing?
I attempted to come to court, but you see, there's no buses coming out of Kingwood. And I was taking care of my grandmother in Kingwood. So I tried, we tried to get Uber money and everything, but I couldn't make it. And I called in and.
We don't have any record. The only reason we have you now is you picked up a new theft case. What happened on the theft case, Alex?
So on the most recent theft case on March 6, 2025, the officer was dispatched to a shoplifting call at a Walmart. The officer made contact with asset protection, who stated that he recognized the defendant from a previous encounter and observed the defendant grab multiple items and attempt to leave the store, passing all points of sale without attempting to pay. The defendant stated he is owed a Purple Heart Veterans discount. Therefore, the amount stolen should be less than listed due to the father's military service. The defendant stated he was trying to find his ID that he dropped outside the Walmart, and that is why he passed all points of sale and attempted to leave the exit. And the defendant further stated that the warrant should be invalidated due to him not stealing on the prior theft as well. The total was $283.62.
It's all not how it went.
No comments on the facts of this case, sir.
Okay.
Was he ordered in the first theft case not to go back to so they're both at Walmart, right?
I just want to confirm. No, the first one at a Melrose was the first theft.
Melrose?
Yes, Judge.
It's Melrose.
I believe it's a retail clothing store, so my understanding is.
Are you sure?
Let me double check what that is. Yes, Judge, it's the clothing store.
Do you see any other prior criminal history?
I see only a previous interference that was dismissed, but nothing else besides that.
What do you think, Mr. D?
I think that, I think he would conform to the requirements, Judge. He stated.
Then before.
I understand. He made a mistake there. We all make mistakes in life. He said that he was attending to his ill mother, that that's not a reason for him not to.
I just turned 30.
What do you do with yourself these days?
I'm a farmer, in the Virgin Islands. I have a farm. I'm a COO of True Farm Hydroponic Goods. We have a farm in Florida, Palmetto, Florida, and we have a farm in St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands. I'm trying to expand to make a ranch over here in Houston.
Who do you live with now?
My grandmother, she's battling breast cancer.
Here's the thing. If I give you another PR bond, and that's a big if, I don't want you out on the street. Because I don't know what you're doing with yourself. I don't know who you have in your life now. So the first thing that I would like to know is that if we give you a PR bond, where are you going to go? If it's out on the street, I'm not going to do this again. But what I'd like is to see, if you don't mind, reaching out to maybe any family members to see who he has there to go home. If you have, you said grandma, if you have a place to stay, then great. We can verify that so that we know that you're going to go. And the next thing is, if I give you a PR bond, I'm going to put a monitor on your ankle so I know where you are, because you're a flight risk. You've already proven to us that you're a flight risk. And so I'm concerned if I give you a PR bond, you're going to take off on me again. And I don't want that to happen, because I'm not going to play this game with you. You know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So you already fooled us once. I'm not going to do this again. So what I'd like to know is if you have a stable place to stay, and then we'll go from there. So you mind reaching out to see if he has a place to go to? If grandma will take him in, then I will give you one more chance, but it's going to be with a leg monitor, so I know where you are. And if I find that you ever go back to a Walmart again, away go all your PR bonds. You know, you now have no one that's going to bond you out. So the next time someone alleges that you commit something and you end up going to jail, you will be stuck like Chuck in there, because no one is going to post your bond. This is what you need to think about when you're out there in the free world. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If I do this, what's going to happen? If I say this, what's going to happen? That's what you need to think about. So let's see what we can do about finding you a place. And then if so, we'll go further. All right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I take care of it right now.
Thanks.
The plea paperwork was already.
So, Mr. D, we're not going through this. We're setting it for trial.
For which one?
Johnson.
Yes, sir. It looks that way, Judge.
Okay.
Okay.
No, let's, this case is 500. Come up, Mr. Johnson. This case is 535 days. No, you get preferential treatment. You're going first. Come on up, sir. So what's our first trial date that we can have, please?
So that would
Judge.
be 30 days.
May I interject, please? Judge, there was a video that the state is trying to get me before we do this. This is just my second reset on it, but I wasn't on the assigned case. It's just my second reset. There's a security camera footage allegedly having my client inside of the vehicle that the state is trying to get to me.
We had subpoenaed the business. They didn't have it. We're just trying to see if the officer has it, because the officer said he watched it to see if he tagged it or not. If he didn't, then we'll reevaluate.
I mean, that would be a pretty big piece of evidence, you know, so let's do this. So, I mean, it's 535 days old. So, I mean, subpoena the officer to come to court. Let's set it. Yeah, let's set it for Thursday of this week. The officer has to come to court and show up with the video in hand, unless, you know, he doesn't have to show up if he gives it to you prior to the date. But if he doesn't have it, then I'm gonna have a show cause why I shouldn't hold him, and you know. But, okay, so we're gonna roll your case to Thursday. Make sure you get the video.
Yes, sir.
Once we get it, we'll roll you to Monday for you guys to make an informed decision whether you want to accept the agreement. And if he still doesn't, then at that point we'll set the trial.
Fair enough.
Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I mean, you need all the evidence if you don't have it. So, okay, all right, good luck.
No waiting period.
No, not at 535 days.
Okay, Judge, since I'm here on Mr. McIntosh, the one we just spoken about the place to stay, I spoke with his grandmother, Mrs. Gladys Sanchez. Mrs. Sanchez informed me that she would be willing to let him stay there for a period of 2 months. If he tries to get a job and stays out of trouble, she's willing to do that. She said she can't let him
That
stay.
sounds fantastic.
She said she can't let him stay there indefinitely. She can't let him stay there indefinitely because he is not on the lease. But she is willing to make a sacrifice
So
of
what
2 months.
do is we'll bring him out. And then we'll give him 2 weeks to see what he's done to get a job. We'll go there. If that's also a condition of his bond as well.
Yes, sir.
You know, we'll put a monitor prior to release so we know where he is.
Yes, sir.
No dope, no alcohol.
Yes, sir. Fair enough, Judge.
So he knows he's not using.
Yes, sir.
That's it after that, right? We're done?
Yes, sir.
What's up?
Deputy Etchigoin, Deputy Miranda. When someone works in jail, do they get paid? Isn't it true they get like maybe 5 cents per hour or something like that?
Somebody, no, they get like more from 3 to 1, depending on, as a worker, they get more time, more pay. So normally, sometimes they do 1-on-1. The workers don't get 3 to 1. That's,
But they don't get like any kind of real money, no real money. It's only you're working for
Yeah.
time.
So you work for time,
Right.
pretty much 3 to 1.
What I was gonna say is you can either get a job in the real world and make real money, or you can work in the jail. Because if you want me to let you out, there's a couple things you need to do. Number one is get a job. Your grandmother is willing to let you stay there, but not indefinitely, because you're not on the lease. So you have a limited amount of time that you can stay there. The other thing that you need to do as part of her condition for you to live with her is you gotta get a job. You understand?
Yes, sir.
People who don't have anything can't be picky. So don't be picky where you wanna work. Any job is a good job, as long as you're making at least minimum wage and it's verifiable employment so that we know it's real. Okay? I'm going to give you another PR bond now, but I'm not gonna do this again. If you pick up a third case, I'm gonna go absolutely bonkers. You know no one's gonna bond you out. So think before you act. You are not allowed to go to any Walmarts. And I'm going to bring you back in 2 weeks to see what you have done to get a job. You must put in at least 10 to 15 applications. It doesn't matter where, Lowe's, Home Depot, McDonald's, don't be picky. You have to get a job.
Yes, sir.
The other thing is no dope, no alcohol.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to test you. I'm telling you now, I'm going to test you on your release so I know that you're not using.
Yes, sir.
You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Give me questions. Job. Drug and alcohol free, and be nice to your grandmother. Because if she's nice enough to give you a roof over your head, don't bite the hand that feeds you, because then your butt's gonna be on the street. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Anything else, Mr. D?
No, sir, that'll be all, Judge.
Okay, you will get a GPS prior to your release so we know where you are. And I want you back here in 2 weeks to show me what you've done to get a job. If you have done nothing, it's not gonna go well. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So, good luck, Ms. McIntosh.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge, keep the bonds as is, but PR bonds?
Yeah.
And then,
Okay, I think that's it, right? Are we done? Yeah, yeah? Oh, okay. You done, other than, okay.